but there's another group of young people who support you overwhelmingly, and those are members of the United States military. In fact, there was recently an editorial called "You Want Him," and this was in a military newspaper, and the hymn was referring to you. And in this editorial, it reflected that you get a larger percentage of political contributions from active duty and retired military than the other Republican candidates combined. How can that be? Are they telling us something?
I think their lives are on the line, and they've been ripped off. They've been sent over. I was in the active military, then I was in the Guard.
Right.
But the Guard is supposed to guard us. Reserves are supposed to be there in case we were attacked. But now, the services are so worn down, they send some of these Guard units and reserve units overseas. They're worn out. And just think of nobody talks about the cost in human life. 8,000 Americans have died in these wars that are illegal and, not declared. 40,000 severe injuries. And all I do is talk about, look, if we need to defend this country, we do. I tried my best when I was in the military. Right. But we just can't continue to do that. I think the military liked the idea of somebody being cautious. I certainly was looking for somebody cautious in 1965 when LBJ escalated the Vietnam War. Right. I wasn't all that happy about that. So I can identify with why active military people are sympathetic to what I'm saying.
Many say the surge is succeeding. We're at a turning point now. And we are creating a model of democracy in a part of the world that hasn't seen that. And that will change everything.
Well, that's the propaganda. I don't happen to believe that. And if you talk to the military people, a lot of them won't agree with it. I happen to get more money from the military, active military people than any other candidate because they see it more from my viewpoint. I got twice as much as all the other candidates put together on the Republican side, and even more than Obama got, which tells me that those troops want to come home as well because they know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I was just going to say there was another thing he brought up at the debates when it came to veterans, and his first TV ad was about veterans speaking on behalf of Ron Paul, also who is a military veteran, one of two in the race right now for the presidency, as saying he's somebody that has protected benefits.
That's right, Chuck. So Ron Paul's been running on this military support recently. This came after him and Rick Santorum had that spar about Iran at a previous debate. And after that, he's continued to pound home that he's gotten more donations from active duty military candidates than all other candidates combined, including President Obama. So he's hammering home his military creds, and now he's also pointing to entitlements as something that he will defend. And he says the reason he can defend the domestic entitlements is by bringing the troops home and saving trillions of dollars from overseas spending.
So, in some other Republican hijinks, we have some numbers out of RonPaulForums.com in today's story that you won't hear anywhere on the mainstream. The reports for fundraising for the Republican presidential candidates came out just a couple weeks ago, and our good friends at RonPaulForums.com have been crunching the numbers. Here we have total contributions by active duty military personnel by the candidate. Herman Cain, $6,223. Now remember, these numbers are coming from reports that may be, if anything, overstating these numbers at this point. But Mitt Romney, not even coming up to Cain there for active duty military contributions, $5,000. Michelle Bachmann, bit of a late start this round. Okay, $2,550. Newt Gingrich, whose campaign is imploding. I don't know if that was by accident there. $1,025. Pawlenty, all of $250 from active duty military. Rick Santorum, $250 also. Gary Johnson, sadly, none for his position. Total there of those other candidates, so to speak, $15,398. Sure sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Well, there's one other candidate who you might have noticed. Well, I don't know if you're watching the mainstream media. You might not have noticed that he was omitted from that list. Let's see, how much did Ron Paul get in this last quarter from active duty military? Oh my gosh, $36,739.79. No surprise, actually, that this was the case. far outstripping all other Republican presidential candidates put together, as was the case 4 years ago. But let's see. Let's compare this to who's the other guy running for president in 2012? Oh yeah, $28,833.99 for the president himself, including all the donations from the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, the Army, whatever that other branch is, to the commander-in-chief. Ron Paul is their choice. But let's take a look at the numbers from 2007 here just for a second, comparing Ron Paul, John McCain, Mitt Romney, Rudy Giuliani, Mike Huckabee, and Fred Thompson. There's a little flashback. Total from the entire campaign back 4 years ago. Again, Ron Paul, until the end of the primary season, Ron Paul had more campaign contributions from active duty service members than all other primary candidates put together, including Barack Obama back then. So here's the latest chart. 2011 military donations. We've got Ron Paul, Mitt Romney, Kaine, and Bachmann there. Nice to have a little visual effect to put that in perspective.